good intro song, right?
Did you pay someone for that?
No, this is a favor. Welcome to a very special episode of the Meet Dave podcast. This is special for many reasons. One, because it's the first time since the relaunch I've had an in-studio guest instead of bringing someone in on the software on the computer. Also, because it's just a special guest in general. My Merman co-host on my other podcast, fellow stand-up comedian, old-time friend, Forrest Shaw. Mm-hmm. Sitting in, being a guest.
Where am I supposed to look?
It's the same as when we do our podcast here, but just opposite.
I know we're on the other side of the table. Yeah. By the way, it's not special at all. You just didn't have a guest.
Well, I had a guest.
Yeah,
I
have nothing to do with barbecue.
No, but that's sometimes the best episodes. Thank you to everyone who came out to the Big Green Egg Festival in San Diego this past weekend. It was a blast. Listening. I had a really good time.
Have I sabotaged your podcast already?
No, not yet at all. You're making it better.
I like to eat barbecue.
I know. We're going to talk about that. Okay. Tell me this story. I was trying to remember recently about the time you went to Kansas City and you wanted to go try barbecue, and I think George Wendt was with you or something like that. Am I remembering that right?
Almost. John Ratzenberger.
Oh, that's right. The other guy from Cheers.
That was Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
Yeah.
John Ratzenberger, Cliff Clavin from Cheers. He's also been in every Pixar movie. He's had one line in every Pixar movie. He was the pig in Toy Story.
Yeah, I was saying he had a big role in Toy Story.
But he's in every, like, he'll have at least one line in every movie, so for whatever reason. He's like,
yeah.
And he was in Empire Strikes Back, too. Like, he does Comic-Cons, is my point. Mm. And he was in Jim Jeffries' situation comedy sitcom.
Yeah, legit on FX. It was a very good show.
He played the dad of DJ Qualls' character, Billy, and Steve. Anyways, so he became friends with them, and he happened to be doing a Comic-Con in Kansas City, and I was there with Jim, and we were doing the Arvis Theater in Kansas City. So he came by to the show. He came out on stage. Like, Jim introduced him on stage. I think he even had a joke where he goes, this is how I know if I can sleep with a woman or not. It's like, I'm like, do you remember him as Cliff Clavin or the pig in Toy Story? So they have to say Cliff Clavin. You know, that was like some version of that joke. I don't know. He came out. Anyways, at the end of the show, he goes, hey, we should go get some barbecue. It's like 9:30, maybe later. Like,
Kansas City, very famous barbecue, yeah.
He goes, I looked it up. This is John Ratzenberger. I looked at this place. It's called Gates Barbecue. Do you know it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like very famous there in Kansas
City. Now
they
have multiple locations. Yeah, but it was one of the OG places.
Yeah, well, he's like, let's go to the original one. And we're like, sure. And he goes, it's supposed to be great. So we get in a cab or an Uber. I think it was an Uber cab. I don't remember. We go to Gates Barbecue, and when we get there, this whole block is Gates. There's like Gates Barbecue. There's Gates Laundromat. This is like the original where they started. And
they have a facility where they fulfill like sauce orders. I went and walked all through there one time.
Yeah. So I think the original Gates guy has long since passed, but I think this is his grandson that probably manages the whole empire, you know. We get out, we go into the Gates Barbecue, we order a bunch of stuff, and they recognize John Ratzenberger at the Gates Barbecue, you know, like, they're like, yeah, I know you from somewhere. They weren't quite sure. They're like, we know you. He goes, yeah, man, and some pictures being taken, whatever. And that time, the grandson was there. He came out and said hi. He's older, though, and like when I say grandson, he was fucking, you know, probably his 40s or 50s. But I might have this all wrong. That might be the son, but whatever. And we have, like, sausage and ribs, and we have everything. We're just sitting there, we're eating, and it's me, John Ratzenberger, Jim, and then the tour manager. All white guys, and there is nobody white near us because we're at the original location, which is in the hood. And I mean, like, deep in the hood. Like, we were driving there, I'm like, we're getting in here. So we're at the original location. We have a great meal. Jim gets up to use the restroom in the middle of us eating, and he comes back. He goes, yo, we got to go to this bar next door. So there was like a hallway connecting the bathroom. There was a bathroom that was used by both Gates Barbecue and this bar. And it was like there was a hallway in the middle. And he just poked his head in there, and he just looked in there, and he goes, I don't think that an Australian has ever been in that bar. He goes, there's no white people in that bar. I think that would be
definitely none of the cast members from Cheers.
He goes, I think this would be a good experience, whatever. And I'm like, okay. We'll see. We're finished eating. We walk through the door. It's like the door opens. And if there was an actual record playing, it would have went like everybody. Now it wasn't it was like what you'd call grown and sexy or something, whatever that term is. You know, it was like older. It was like everybody was probably like 40s and 50s. There might have been some people in their 30s too, but it wasn't like, it was kind of like R&B was playing and like, I think like Earth, Wind and Fire. You know, so the music was chill, whatever, but literally everybody looked at us like, what the fuck are these people doing? Now, it used to be a Mexican restaurant. Why do I know that? Because they didn't change the decor. There was still like some Mexican like decor around there, but it was not a Mexican restaurant anymore. And we walk up to the bar, and it would be like how it would feel to be if you were in the reverse situation, that because they did not help us for a long time. And we're just like, but we're not saying it. We're not like, we need some stuff. We're just like, yeah, okay, cool. And then I remember we finally ordered 4 Coronas, and you know when they put a lime in the top of it? They didn't do that. They put 4 napkins, like cocktail napkins, in the top of it too. I don't know if that was a symbol for like, hey, watch out, these guys are probably police or I don't know what the fuck they thought we were, but they weren't. They weren't
narcs.
They weren't mean, but they just weren't like excited we were there.
Yeah.
We're in the, and we're just like, I don't know. And I think Jim was like, yeah, maybe we should leave, whatever. And John Ratzenberger was like, just give it a moment, whatever. And literally 2 minutes later, go, hey, aren't you Norm from Cheers? And he was like, yeah, that's close enough, whatever. But then he corrected everybody. He's like, yeah, I'm Cliff. But dude, 5 minutes later, they're singing the theme song.
I was going to say, then you guys had to be heroes.
No. There's a line to take pictures with him.
Yeah.
They're like singing, yeah, we want to go. And then they're like, all right.
Yeah.
And then literally,
I can't think of any other sitcom or character that would bring demographics together like one of the dudes who sat at the bar at Cheers.
Too. Yeah, in a bar, and there was the right age group too. And then one of the guys that was there, he was a Vietnam veteran. He had a hat on that said he was, at least, I believe. And he like saddles up to me and goes, hey, you guys are gonna have trouble getting out of this neighborhood. I'm like, I thought it was straight. I go, oh, what? Like, and he goes, no, I just mean, because we didn't drive there. Somehow they knew we didn't drive. Forget how that. And he goes, no one's coming here. Like, I was like,
he was having PTSD flashbacks. Like, they're not coming to get you.
And as a white person, I'm like, of course they're gonna come get me. And so like when we just had the beer and we're gonna leave. We weren't gonna be there all night. So I went back into the barbecue place because they didn't have a phone. Like they said go there. There's a phone. The woman's like, oh, I'll call you guys a cab. And she comes back 5 minutes later. She's like, no one's coming there. Like to this neighborhood. We're like, no Ubers.
How'd you guys get home?
The owner of Gates is like, I'll drive you guys back, whatever.
Oh,
so he drove back in his like Cadillac Escalade. He's like, Empire barbecue, whatever, and dropped us off.
That's great.
There's a fun barbecue story.
I'm probably gonna upset some people by saying this, but I've been mostly disappointed by a lot of the places I've gone in Kansas City.
It's very sauce heavy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the style's not. I think a lot of the places actually got. I think they've been a victim of their own success. I think a lot of the barbecue places that are the famous places that you look up and it says you should go, I think a lot of them have gone like corporate and they've got multiple locations now. Yeah. And there's probably not as much of attention to detail on the actual like, authentic quality of it.
I think we ate that Gates that time and it was good. I remember really liking the sausage the best, but I remember being really sauce heavy, everything. Cause we had the next time we came there, we had backstage barbecue and it wasn't Gates. It was another place where you got to get from whatever this place was in Kansas City. And we had it backstage and it was fine, but anytime you get anything backstage, it's never going to be quite as good because it's just like, it's probably been sitting around 40 minutes by the time the runner gets it and whatever and shit. But yeah, there you go. I do know about barbecue.
There you go. I feel like as comics, like food is really attached to our life because we associate certain things with different places we go and we work and regions. And it's a big part of our day is just looking for food, in places we're not familiar with, whatever. And I always think about this one place, and I want to say it was a small town. Was it Deltona or something like that? But there was this gig in the middle of Florida, and we used to always, if any of us were working there, you're like, yo, you're going to go get those steak sandwiches, aren't you?
The Land.
That's what it was.
Yeah, where Stetson University is.
Yes. Yeah. And they had it was just this random little tiny. It
was called
like Fat Boys,
like the Bomb Shelter or something. Because the sandwich was called the Bomb.
Yeah.
Something. I'll look it up right now. Yeah, and it's in DeLand, Florida, where Stetson is.
I want to say it was something like Big Boys or Fat Boys or.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm looking it up right now.
It was so good. It was just
and they did a couple things where it was like you were told like you got to get it. Because there was a certain things that you might not want to get on it.
Yeah. People were like, add the whiz or
Belly Busters.
Belly Busters.
Yeah, it's only got 3.8.
That's what it is.
This is why reviews. It's better than 3. I don't know what the other subs are like. But the sub you get is called, I'm saying, someone else purchased it 2 years ago.
Oh.
So maybe steak and cheese all the way. That's what you're supposed to get. Yeah, it's funny because there was one time a long time ago, I was doing shows in Florida with Bill Burr, and we were driving. I think we drove from maybe Miami to Orlando, and then it was Orlando, Jacksonville. And on the way to Orlando, Jacksonville, it's off. It would be a little bit out of the way, but I was like, dude, we should stop at this place, Belly Busters. The steak sandwich is the shit. I talked it up for what it's a little bit out of the way, but not a big deal. But it's still out of the way. So we drove there and we got there, and it was like a Sunday.
And they were closed.
Closed on Sundays. And I was like, I forgot. And we just pulled up, and I felt like, yeah. That's where Jacob DeGrom was from, Stetson University.
Yeah, I just want you to see it. It's really...
Man, if it was open, it'd be really good.
It was a really, really cool structure.
I'll tell you where I had some good barbecue in Bali.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that trip.
I'm going to tell you the name of it right now because I want to get the name of it right. But the last time I was there, just in fucking, what do you call it? December. I stayed at this hotel. It's called the Trans Resort. I know nowadays that seems weird, but that's just what it's called.
In Bali, huh?
It has nothing to do with that. It's just what it's called. There's no gender things going on there. And stuff.
Okay, sure.
There was, it'd be fine, but it's not. And the guy that runs it is this guy, very eccentric guy. Why am I not remembering his name right now either? But he I had to stay there extra days. Alex, his name is Alex at Trans Resort Bali, and he had to stay there a couple extra days. And he's like, I'm gonna send you all the best restaurants, whatever. And there was a meat restaurant in Bali. He's like, you got to go to this, but I couldn't go there. And he goes, oh, they just opened a new barbecue place.
Was it American style barbecue?
Yeah, no, straight up and it was really good. Okay, Boy and Cow was the name of the
Buoyant Cow?
Boy and Cow.
Boy and Cow.
That one was really good. That was a steakhouse. That was as good a steakhouse as you can have anywhere in the world. And it's in Bali, and so it's a little bit cheaper, but when some of these higher end restaurants in Bali and stuff, it's not the Indonesian prices you're normally getting where you're like, this was $3. So
yeah.
But the other place was the Grumpy Butcher. I don't know why I'd forget that. And I had brisket there.
I'm surprised you didn't buy the t-shirt.
I know, I should have. Yeah, I had brisket, mac and cheese, coleslaw, and that was really good. And that, thinking about food and stuff, that actually made me less I wasn't homesick. Well, when you eat something on the road and you're gone for a long time, you're like, oh, this is familiar. I had some of the best tacos I've ever had were in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
That's this woman that's a decorated chef, and she's makes tacos there and stuff. And Hijas de Sanchez is a taco place, and she has a new restaurant that I ate at when I was in Copenhagen there now, and I'd have to look that up again. I think it's just called Sanchez. If you're in Copenhagen, excellent. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, if you're ever in Bali, Grumpy Butcher.
There you go. I think that's a very unique recommendation that we've had on the Meat Dave podcast.
It won't be the cheapest, but it'll still be cheap as compared to anything else in the United States. But normally you're in Bali, and you get the nasi goreng, which is this rice with whatever meat you want, and an egg and some other stuff. And you'll get some sides and a coconut milkshake and stuff like that. And then you look at you convert it, and you're like, that was $4.50. You're like... Awesome.
That's a real thing, dude, when you're traveling a bunch and just to get a little bit of a taste. It's nostalgic, it's comfort. It's literally comfort food. I remember I went study abroad when I was in college, and the food was great. I was in Switzerland on the Italian border, and the grotto, the cafeteria where we ate lunch every day. It was great pasta. So it was pasta, and then traveling, we'd get good German food and French food and whatever. But I still just craved a good old-fashioned American meal. And even when you went down to Burger King, it was the ketchup had vinegar in it, and there was just things they did different, never
the same. Yeah, I intentionally eat at a McDonald's or something like that just to see what it's like. Oh, what do they do different here?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, there's always a sauce or some sort of topping. Or
one of my last weekends there, we went to Amsterdam, and I don't smoke very much. Especially at that point, I barely ever smoked. And so, but I was in Amsterdam, so, definitely went for it. And we walked around, me and my buddy that was with, and we found this place. There's so many places to eat, right? They're catering to the munchies there. We found this one place that it was a hole in the wall, that had fried chicken, legit French fries, just fried ass American food. And I remember almost crying, probably once because my mind was being opened, but also just the food, just being this is it for weeks I've just wanted to taste America, and this is it. And I think we went back to that spot like 3 times in one night. We just kept going back. More chicken.
By the way, why does it say 3 minutes and 45 seconds?
Oh, because I started it late.
I was like, that's all we've been doing? That's all we've done so far?
I started it late.
What happened here? I got a hard out.
What are some other places that you could think of about working the road where, like, I'll tell you, one thing that's awesome is when there's...
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're on the barbecue podcast and you're from Miami. Is Shorty's good?
No.
It's not, huh?
I remember. So when we were kids, we thought it was good, and it's good for like a restaurant. Like it's a fun place to go to. You get the French fries are awesome.
The brisket I used to get.
Yeah. See, like the meat's good, but it's not like
I haven't eaten there in forever.
Yeah. So like if you go there and you get a pork sandwich and the French fries, and you get the corn on the cob that literally comes in like a vat of butter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good meal. You know, you're like, hey man, I had a good time eating here. But it's not like, yo, that was some legit barbecue.
The barbecue sauce was good though. The brisket sauce was vinegary. I like that.
One of my buddies, who's from Florida, that lives out here too. He just went home to visit his mom for like the first time in forever, and he literally ate ribs at Flanagan's, like 7 times while he was there. Yeah. He kept sending me pictures, and I'm like, I'm the barbecue guy, and you're eating too many ribs, like, you know.
But wait, so those ribs are pretty good, though, right?
They're pretty good, but they're smothered in barbecue sauce. They're not done in a smoker. I'm sure they're done in the oven, you know, in the kitchen.
What barbecue place is good in Miami?
Back then,
now,
I mean, none. Actually, no. There are some spots now. There's a place. I mean, I haven't been to them, but there's some places I follow on Instagram that people say are like super legit, like authentic barbecue. This dude I know named Patrick, he's got Pig Floyd barbecue. So he had a location for a minute.
I've said this before. I said again, too many puns in barbecue.
Oh, lots of puns in barbecue.
I don't appreciate it.
Oh, man.
I don't like it.
I just went to Memphis in May, and there were some good ones.
Just meat.
So this one team really went for it.
Grumpy Butcher, that's fine.
That's
fun.
Good. Yeah.
But Pig Floyd?
Yeah.
No, not going to do it.
All right. I'll let him know.
Yeah.
Patrick, Ford doesn't like it.
Change it up.
There's a pop-up called, I can't remember it.
What about the McRib? Is that good?
Yeah, it's the best. It is the...
Now, you know what's good in Miami? Actually,
it's a popular Instagram video. Actually, a lot of barbecue people now are doing like an authentic McRib.
Yeah.
And they're actually making a McRib, but with real ribs, like, you know?
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. I ate a rib sandwich with bones in it. You ever had that?
Like on purpose?
No, I think I said this on another podcast, but
you bit into it and they'd accidentally left the
I used to be a swimming instructor, and I was in poor neighborhoods and like kids that couldn't afford it and stuff. It was through Dade County schools, and one of the neighborhoods I worked in was Overtown, and then the swimming instructor was like a guy that grew up in Overtown, and he goes, "Hey, do you like ribs?" And he goes, "You want to go eat ribs for lunch?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Get the rib sandwich." And then I came with just bones in it with the bread on there. So I'm like, well, you can't eat this. This is ridiculous. You can. You can. You just can't.
Like they did it on purpose? It wasn't that they like forgot to take the bones
out?
up?
They served it, yeah. I think you're supposed to. I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I was trying not to upset anybody. But my question is, what I was going to say is in Miami, I think there are a lot of good wings.
100%. There's so many good wing places in Miami. Yeah. When I think... You and I commiserated over this. We moved out here. We were like...
Nowhere in L.A.
Oh, we really took wings for granted in Miami.
I don't know one place in L.A. that I'm like, yeah. I've had some... I'll tell you where I've had a couple good batches is in Flights, your old place.
Oh, yeah. Flights does good wings.
But it's not consistent.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you'll get them and you're like, nah, it wasn't good. It's like... I'm talking about a place that every single time.
But in Miami, like Sports Grill and Hole in the Wall...
Sports Grill's amazing.
Yeah, and Flanagan's and all those places. They would legit...
Also, Hole in the Wall...
Cake South,
because that's where Sam
used to work
there, and that was his recipe, and he brought, But that was what's that?
That's really weird. You guys were like finishing each other's sentences.
We've talked about the wings in Miami a lot.
Keg South was like, I missed Keg South. I used to go there a lot. I used to live around the corner, and you'd park in the alley in the back, so it was very already like, I'm just coming here to have, and I'd have like a pitcher of beer and wings, and yeah, you know what's funny is when Sam used to work there, I used to go in there. I don't think I ever went there with you.
To
Keg South. But I went in there with Al Jackson a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Al Jackson.
No, but we went to Hole in the Wall a lot, and we threw a comedy show in Hole in the Wall, and Hole in the Wall literally is a hole. They're like, it fits like 12 people.
No, but I was going to say.
You remember that?
Yeah, I know. I remember the comedy show. We were like underneath the TV next to the video game. Like,
it was like very early in our career. We're like
Sam. You also got me that gig in the Keys that I was booking briefly. and then like a couple of checks got back. It was like a weird place to do comedy. I don't know if you ever got to it because it got shut down.
I never did it.
They were like borrowing money from the mob or something, and they didn't pay him. So people came back literally with baseball bats with nails in them and beat him up. And Sam had to go get his fryers and everything out, like break in there and get all the rest, like get all the shit out of there before.
Are you allowed to be talking about this?
But not breaking. That's what I say. He just went back and got all the shit. But no, but the Sam thing. This is something, and this was I'm not shouldn't have said any names, but I think this was like a thing where he at Keg South. I'm gonna beep out everyone's name. At Keg South, Al Jackson, I used to go there, and we'd have like pictures of beers, wings, sandwich. And we had gone there so much and we tip big, then by the end he'd be like, all right, like $10, $12, whatever.
Yeah, but that happens everywhere.
No, but then his thing is like, then Sam left there. They had a parting of ways. I think part of it was because he took care of people a lot like that.
Yeah.
But he had also come up with like the recipes for the wings, the burgers, like all stuff. So then he opened up his own bar, Hole in the Wall. And I remember going to Hole in the Wall the first time. I'm like, this is going to be great. And he was like 55. It was like the actual price. I was like,
yeah, because he owned it.
Yeah. He's owning it. I'm like, hey, what happened to that discount we used to get?
His wings were better when they were like $8.
Yeah, these were really good. Yeah, but anyway, support Hole in the Wall. If you're ever there, there's a bunch of locations now. I think there's.
Well, we're going to be doing shows together.
Luis, you're going to eat at Hole in the Wall.
Yeah.
We're literally going to be sleeping 20 feet from there. So,
we need to hit Sam up in advance.
Yeah.
And throw some fucking parties at Hole in the Wall.
Yeah,
like,
we should. Yeah.
Like we'll get him to cater some food for the shows or something. We'll do something where we're just.
Yeah, that'd be good. Like you mean like over there, like cater
something.
Food.
Yeah, something. We got to incorporate Hole in the Wall with this.
Hole in the Wall. There's a good smoked fish dip. It's off the chart. It's really good. Then they have the burgers are fantastic. The wings are phenomenal. I get them a little bit well done there, but not well done, but just to cook them a little bit more. But man, everything is good there.
Yeah,
and it's like a sports bar kind of thing. It's a great. And Sam is a cool guy, dude. He's really. I know he's a cool. And it's just a cool spot. But they have like 3 locations now. I think there is one that specializes more in ribs somewhere else. I don't know how good they are. And then there's another. Anyways, if you're ever in Florida, Hole in the Wall is a good place to go to.
Yeah.
Sports Grill is good too, but Sports Grill feels more corporate.
Yeah.
And, Sam and there's a couple other people that he owns it with. Like, I just like the independent place.
I used to try to steal the recipe for the best wings at Sports Grill were the just special grilled.
The Dales? The Dales?
It's just
they're called Dales, but it's Miami, so I was like, Dale.
And
they're like, no, these are Dales.
Well, a couple times I met someone who worked there, and I'd just be like, yo, what's the recipe?
Yeah, Sports Grill is good.
How do I make those special grill wings myself?
Yeah. Sports Grill is a chain. And again, it's probably not as corporate as I think because it's still just a South Florida chain. What do you think? There's probably 8 locations.
Well, yeah, I mean, it started small. There was just one, and it was great. And then they opened up like a second or third location, and it happened to be in the Palmetto Golf Course, which was like...
What's the first one?
The very first one was probably South Miami.
That's the one I always go to because that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
But there's the other one in Kendall.
Now, yeah.
Where Ellie and Irene used to do the comedy show.
Yeah, that was after the Palmetto Golf Course one. So when they opened up the one at Palmetto Golf Course, it was the only one anywhere near me, and I was so happy because every NFL Sunday, I had like a baby at the time, so it's not like we were going out to the bars. We'd be driving home from church, and I'd call Sports Grill, and I go, "Yo, 50 wings, I'm on my way," and then I'd pick them up, and I'd go home and watch football.
Dude, I've traveled around this country, everywhere, major cities, small cities, whatever. I will tell you, I would put up Hole in the Wall and the Sports Grill against any other bar food place in the country. Like, I'm not just talking about the wings. Like, they have those messy nachos you get at Sports Grill.
Yeah, no, you get a fresh fish sandwich, like a mahi-mahi sandwich or a blackened grouper sandwich, and it's like legit fresh fish.
Good stuff.
At a bar.
I'll put them up against... And so Miami has... So for whatever reason, when I was like... I took for granted the wing situation in Miami, where I started traveling, and I was like, well, wings suck everywhere else. Like, well, not everywhere, but a lot.
Here's my thing with Miami. I think that, obviously, we live in a city now, Los Angeles, where there's a lot of great food, whatever. And there's a lot of great places around the country that takes pride in certain specific kinds of food, right? But what's really great about Miami that I took for granted probably when I was there is that they have great casual food, right? So, like, some of the stuff we were just talking about, even like Pollo Tropical as a fast food place.
It's like Pollo Loco here, but I think better.
Yeah.
It's like the Cuban version.
And like Chicken Kitchen, like as a chain.
there.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I know. I know all the secret sauces. Can't remember them, but I did.
Mustard curry sauce will change your life.
We've talked about this on our other podcast.
And then the thing about Miami, though, is that they have those great casual spots. They have great authentic food, meaning the local seafood. And
Authentico, did you mean?
Yes. Yeah. And no, but like Cuban food. Like you go to any little counter and get a café con leche and a tostada and a Cuban sandwich and medianoche. But then you also have really great fine dining places too, you know? Like some of the most incredible fine dining there. Miami is super.
You don't go fine dining?
No, there was a place.
Burger King.
What was that?
Inglewood Fireworks. You get used to it.
I'm used to fireworks in my neighborhood.
Is that a polite way of saying drive-by? What are your some of your other favorite places to eat around the country when you go work the road?
By the way, I'll tell you, I've been to Buffalo several times, and the wings are good there.
I got opinions.
You don't like them?
So I went to one of the most like it's kind of like the Gates barbecue. Yeah. I went to the Anchor Bar or whatever. It was supposed to be like the place that claims it was the original or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they've gone so corporate, and honestly, the wings not only were they not great, they weren't even good. I was just like, this is the famous. But so then I put it up on Instagram, and then all the fans started hitting me up and going,
anytime, yeah,
they're like, dude, you got to go to this spot or that spot. You're at the wrong guy
on a Tuesday and the grill's on.
Yeah. So I went to another spot that was also a chain, but was definitely a step in the right direction. They were pretty good. But then I went to this other place that was just like one location spot, and it knocked my socks off. And I was like, all right, this redeemed Buffalo wings for sure. And I down to the point where not only were the wings great, but the waitress was like, do you want ranch or blue cheese? And I was like, definitely ranch. And I go, is the ranch, is there any other sauces that are good, or should I just stick with ranch? She goes, well, I made the ranch myself, homemade today. And I was like, bro, when the person serving you made the ranch from scratch
I've only had good wings in Buffalo. Twice I've had them backstage with Jim doing shows, and I was like, these are good. Hats off, Buffalo.
Yeah.
You did it. You bet. So wait, food places that I like around the country?
Yeah.
That are like barbecue related?
I mean, they don't have to be. We talk about all kinds of food.
I'll tell you one of the best ribs I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Was not a barbecue joint. It was a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
In San Francisco. And it's called House of Nanking. It's not underground by any means. Lots of people know this. The guy was like an Iron Chef, the chef. And
okay. So it was like a legit place, yeah.
I've been there 20 times probably. It's at the, Chinatown in San Francisco. It goes up a huge steep hill, and it's at the kind of the bottom of this hill of Chinatown there. Just look it up. House of Nanking, one word, if you're ever in San Francisco. Now, I had ideas of what I'd already liked there. They're very famous for their like sesame chicken, and they have really good veggies and stuff. And last time I was there with I was doing shows at the Cobb's Comedy Club, and I was there with Barry Taylor from Comedy Records.
Yeah.
And K. Trevor Wilson, the comedian, and he's in a show like Letterkenny and stuff. So we went there. They had never been there, and we sat down. And K. Trev's like a big guy like me. Barry's not, but he's just this guy comes up. We're sitting outside, and he goes, "Have you guys ever been here before?" And I go, "I have." They haven't. And I was about to start running. He goes, "Do you guys have any allergies?" And I was already excited because I knew it wasn't. And we're like, "No." And he goes, "All right, don't worry about it." Took our menus, and I'm like, I've never done this before here.
That's the best.
Yeah. And
he just curated an experience.
Anything you order at House of Nanking is going to be good, by the way. But I would just suggest doing that, especially if it's every other time I've gone there, the server has been a female. This is the only time it was a male. He's an Asian guy. He's older, so if you get that guy, yeah. And first they brought us these buns, these pork bun things, whatever. But the next thing with these ribs, and so they brought them out, and there was basically I think 2 ribs for each of us with a zucchini that was grilled on the side of it too. And said they put it each on our plate and served it. And I'm telling you, you could just take your finger and touch it, and the meat was coming off the bone. There was not one piece of meat left on that bone. It just fell off it. And the glaze that they had on it was one of the best ribs I've ever had in my life at this Chinese. Everything else was good there. Go to House of Nanking in San Francisco. I highly recommend that place. And then one of my favorite barbecue places is no longer around outside of Austin, Texas.
Which one?
It's called, my aunt lives in Bastrop, which is 30-something minutes east or northeast of Austin. It's becoming bigger and bigger, that town, because it's outside of Austin. As Austin grows, the suburbs grow. And I think Sandra Bullock made it famous. She shot a movie there, Harry Connick Jr. I was like, this place is great. I'm going to live here. And then other people started moving there. Anyways, there used to be on the highway, I don't remember the number, from Austin to Bastrop, like by the airport, the same highway that goes by the airport. There used to be just a trailer there. It was called Benny's.
All right.
There was literally 2 trailers and then a smokehouse in the back. And the brisket was so fucking good. And they also, like, they had the giant turkey legs because the Dallas Cowboys would, like, train near there, and they would all come. They famously would make those for the Dallas Cowboys and stuff. And when I did a bus tour time with Jim, my aunt brought like 3 or 5 pounds or 6 pounds of brisket tortillas and coleslaw and just hot sauce for the bus, and we just ate all of that in like 2 days, just because you take the little bit of brisket, you put in the tortilla, a little bit of sauce, heat it in the microwave just for like 5 seconds, just get it warm, and then you put the cold coleslaw on it in the bus, and you're like, perfect. Anyways, he died, Benny, of like heart attack. He was a big guy that ate his product, and
Benny,
and so. When he died, it shut down. So I was sad about that. But look it up, Benny's. That was a good place. So you can't eat there anymore.
Well, he lives on in Forrest's memories of these turkey legs.
Really good. It doesn't have to be barbecue.
No, I want to talk to you about your pizza ovens, bro. You moved into a house that had a pizza oven in the back, so you got into it for a little while. Now I have a pizza oven, and you've been trying to encourage me and tutor me a little bit on the pizza oven.
Recently you had a birthday celebration at your house.
I did. I was busy manning the smoker.
You were cooking meats.
So I did a ribeye roast that day and a bunch of chicken wings, speak of the devil.
And Bart, what's his name? Bart.
Oh, yeah, Dustin Bart's of Bart's Barbecue
Dustin
came
Bart's,
by. He did some tri-tip quesadillas.
I didn't know
We're just cooking.
I didn't know his first name. I was forgetting it. Dustin
Yeah,
Bart.
Dustin Bart's.
He had that hot sauce for that quesadilla they had. I told him, I think that's like, it was his creation or something? I don't know. It was really good. He told me he was going to give me some or something. Anyways, Dustin, just putting it out there. If you're listening, you didn't get me the hot sauce. But anyways, between the two of you have a lot of knowledge of cooking barbecue and know what you're doing. And then you couldn't. I'm watching what you guys are doing with the pizza oven. I'm like, it's an abomination. I'm like, I just thought you would automatically know how to cook other things. And you have this pizza. And I was like, no, you're not doing this right at all. You'd like shove the log in there, and it takes about an hour and a half to properly heat a pizza oven to get it, because you want to get between 800 and 900. Now I know this because I owned a pizza oven, and you had no tools. You were trying to stick a meat thermometer in there to see the temperature, which you need a laser.
But I knew I didn't have the tools. I got them now. You bought them for me.
I bought them for your birthday. Yeah, but the thing you were trying to stick in there.
Yeah, I know you need the infrared.
You were 500 or 600 degrees off the max of this thing that you would need to be, and then you didn't have the peel to slide it. You had some nice peels for like moving it around in there and spinning it and then taking it out. But you need a nice wooden peel that you can flour off and slide it in. And you didn't have that, so it's like sticking.
Yeah.
By the 4th pizza, I got it cooked pretty good in there. But it was like I had to get it up to the right temperature and this and that. And I was kind of frustrated. I just wanted to come there and watch the game. And the only good thing was that there was no tension then. Because I was like fucking cooking pizzas. And I look up and the heat's up by 20. I'm like, all right, I guess we're good. But
you said you were like, me and Kevin, we got the and then I turned around and
say that,
and no one was paying attention to the pizza, and I'm like, Forrest,
no,
Kevin, you said, because I was working the smoker and I was slicing shit, I was doing other stuff. I told Kevin, my neighbor Kevin, I said, Kevin, we're only gonna fire up the pizza oven if you cook on it, because I don't have time to fuck with the pizza oven and all this other stuff.
I think Kevin said it was gonna help him, but I didn't get that message until the first pizza was almost burning, which it wasn't burning. It was undercooked. Actually, it was just like sat in there.
Yeah.
We did it great by the 2nd, 3rd, 4th pit. I think we had a brisket pizza in there.
Yeah.
It was good. The dough was a little bit thick. I would have rolled it out a little bit more. But this is the one thing, not the one thing. I can cook other things good, but as far as anything in that world of an open flame type thing, that I would consider myself not an expert, but definitely better than you.
I'm going to keep practicing on it. Shout out Forno Piombo. Thank you for my pizza oven. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm going to use it a lot more.
I got you peels. You didn't have the wooden peels, the things that you slide them in the oven. Nah. You didn't have those. You didn't have a tray when it comes out to put it on and cut it up. You're just like, just put it on this cutting board.
Yeah, you do everything on cutting boards.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life.
And then I get you a little kind of cooling rack. That's good to keep and what else I got?
I don't think
I got your thermometer.
Oh, yeah. I don't think the cooling rack showed up yet.
Yeah, any day will. And the thermometer, the laser thermometer.
The pew-pew.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I appreciate
I'll send you a video.
You haven't had my barbecue a lot, have you?
No. That was probably the first time I had it fresh.
Okay.
I don't know about that podcast.
Oh, yeah, I brought it in there.
Because you brought it in the warmers. those ribs were amazing. Those are some of the top ribs ever. When you had to show your barbecue to
Myron Mixon.
And you were very nervous.
I just found out.
Mr. Mixon, will you look at my brisket through the camera? Luis is there, you know.
I don't
Did
think
I
I
do a
was
good
that.
job? Did I?
I don't think I was that way at
and
all.
he's like looking through a Zoom lens.
I would have been nervous if he was there and was tasting it, but I wasn't nervous that he was looking at it over.
You were still nervous of him looking at it.
Well, you know what?
It's like the Godfather of barbecue. Like he's the
You know,
guy.
so this is what
I don't know. I'm just making titles. He's big up there.
Yeah,
right?
no, he's one of
Big
the
up.
most decorated barbecue dudes in the history of barbecue.
Luis, how many times have you had Dave's barbecue?
Just no, that's not true. It was the one time for IDCat, and then there was once at his house when we were talking about Mermen Podcast.
Oh, we had a little meeting.
The meat.
Oh, that wasn't
eating.
fresh.
No.
Yeah, no. I was in his fridge for a week.
Well, you guys should come to one of the parties I invite you to.
I did. I came. But that one was too big.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Because it was like...
I'm very popular.
It was like I had a wing, and I'm like, oh, that wing's good, and then they were gone. There's still a lot of people there. And then the mac and cheese, I had a little bit. The kids annihilate that.
Well, what
The sausage was good. I didn't have enough.
All right, well, let's find something to celebrate, and we'll have you guys over, and I'll cook for you at my house.
Luis just had a birthday.
Yep.
Yeah, well, damn, we missed it.
I guess next year.
Yeah, what's the next day? What episode are we on the Mermen Podcast?
We just released 39, I believe.
Episode 40. I think it's time to celebrate.
Okay. Do it.
All right.
I think this was your best meet Dave ever.
Yeah, it's great, actually. Actually, really enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were done.
Well, do you have anything else to add? We can be done. How much time we at, Luis?
37.
Yeah, we can be done.
What am I supposed to add? Another place to eat?
I don't know. Any other food-related nuggets? You don't really cook much yourself, do you?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. You just don't see it. I don't put it out there.
Yeah.
I don't like Instagram it like you do. It's not my part of my
You
life.
don't whore it out like I do?
I used to cook in a restaurant.
What?
If you went and looked at the pots and pans and knives,
Cookware,
it's very high end. Like you'd be like, wow. And then some people are like, yeah. I'm like, eh. I don't cook as much as I'd like to, but I definitely cook. I just cooked the other day. I just cooked a whole bunch of stuff, just like some boring shit, but I like it. You know. You know what I was thinking of making? I used to make a lot when I worked at a restaurant with spanakopita. I used to work this one restaurant. I used to work brunch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never going to fucking eat this shit again. And then I went to Greece recently and I'm like, that's some good shit. But has nothing to do with barbecue. But it's pastry with spinach in it. Do you know what it is? And feta.
Yeah,
Onion,
sounds familiar.
Dill. They love a pie in Greece.
And then what do? You put it in and you bake it? You put it in the crust?
The phyllo dough. So, and you got to buy that. You don't make that. Someone could probably makes their own, like a moron. But you buy it, and then you basically just make a mix of like spinach and onion and dill and feta cheese, whatever. You saute the onion, and then you like fold it into the phyllo dough with butter and stuff like that, and you bake it. Yeah. When I was in Greece, they had all these different pies. They had an onion pie.
Onion pie?
Only onion. Really good. Then they had a zucchini pie. Very good too. Anyways.
All right.
If you're ever in Greece, in between Athens and the Poseidon Temple, there is a roadside restaurant I don't know the name of that we just randomly went to. Very good. Highly recommend. There's a dog that's out in front.
Forrest Shaw, guys. He knows all the best roadside places all around the world.
I'll tell you one other place in the United States. Let me think of a place
that
I really like. I'll tell you what I really like. One of my favorite things in Florida Keys, Mrs. Mac's Kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
You ever been there?
Yeah,
it's like a dinery, like kind of.
It's in the middle where the roads are split. It's in the middle.
Well, let me tell you something. There is one in the middle. That's the new one.
Oh, okay.
It's still open. Is the old one on the side? We also can go to this when we go down to the Keys.
Oh, we're gonna eat so much food when we go to the Keys.
At least isn't paying attention.
Yeah,
it's like we're doing the other podcast. So there's a Mrs. Mac's on the right that you can just pull off, and where the highway starts to divide going south towards Key West.
Yep.
You can pull off there. And they got everything in there. They got these things called flying saucer sandwich, just pita sandwich. They got, all sorts of different things. But they have a taco salad that is like, it's basically a Frito pie thing. But it's just they have like, they just put Fritos down on a plate, a big oval plate. They put chili on it. They just put lettuce. They slice these tomatoes. They put a little bit of some sort of vinaigrette on top. And then there's a bunch of cheese and stuff too. And it is so basic. Like when you look at it, you're like, this is some basic bitch food. Dude, I think about that. I used to work at a place around the corner, so I would eat it like 2-3 times a week. That's a food I think about. It's like a Frito pie. It's kind of in the realm. So go there, get the taco salad. It's not fine dining, but you'll enjoy.
Well, when we go to the Keys, for people that don't know, Forrest and I have another podcast called the Mermen Podcast, and Luis is our producer. The three of us are going to go to Florida. No, very different. There's different decorations. Yeah. We're going to Florida at the end of September. We're going to do Wednesday, Thursday in Key West. We're going to do shows in Miami Friday, Saturday, and then in Dania on Sunday. I haven't put it up on my website yet. Have you put it up on your website?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. Go to Forrest. Go to Forrest's website. And
we're probably going to fly in a day or two early and then leave a day, right?
Yeah. My mom wants us to go early and do a charity gig for her. I got to talk to you about that.
I meant going a day early and then like enjoy ourselves.
Yeah. No, this will be very enjoyable.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
So,
like for free?
Luis, you're gonna eat so much good food. One time I used to go every year and I'd bring a different comedian with me and I'd like want to like show them all this stuff and whatever. And I brought Jeff Dye with me. And Jeff, we stop at the first place and I order all this seafood that I want him to try. And he goes, he's like, I don't eat meat anymore. I go, what?
Why don't you tell you that when you're ordering?
Yeah.
Where was the seafood from?
It was, I think it was like Tiki Bar or something on the way down there.
Just like, that's not a good place for seafood.
No, it's not. But it was like we're easing into it. I was getting like conch fritters.
Yeah, but I leave the keys to me. I know where to go eat the keys.
All right.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time down there.
Forrest, you got the keys.
Yeah, no, it'll be all like kind of like food like that, fun, all right, seafood. Yeah.
We'll end on this. I'm going to rapid fire some of the puns that I saw at Memphis in May Comedy Festival a few weeks ago, and you tell me whether they read the Forrest Shaw.
I can tell you without you telling me them. Not good. It's a pun. I'm anti-pun, but go ahead.
All right, tell me if you like these or not.
Big Floyd, no.
All right. How about Schweinfeld?
No.
How about too sauced to pork?
Do I have to give you reason?
Whatever you want.
Schweinfeld, it seems like hate crime. Something about pork and Jews. I don't know.
All right. Too sauced to pork.
Too sauced to pork?
Yeah.
That's not really
that's two puns in one.
That's not even really. I mean, it's sort of a pun, like you're sauced but that doesn't make sense because what do you mean you're too sauced?
It's like whiskey dick. It's like we're too.
I know what it is, the pun, but it should be. No. Yeah, it's wrong.
All right, how about this one? I think you're gonna like this one. And you got to picture the logo and how they do it, right? Yeah. Snoutcast.
That one's pretty good. Only because here's the thing: if the pun's gonna work, I should think of something related to barbecue. And Outcast talks about barbecue. They're from the South. I feel like they're in the barbecue. Whereas I don't associate Jerry Seinfeld with barbecue. Or what was the other one? Or Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Early, yeah. But Outcast just seems like,
Dirty
Atlanta,
South.
Dirty South, barbecue. All right, Snoutcast. I like it.
All right, what about this one? Pablo Escobar Barbecue.
No. They tried to.
That's my favorite one.
No. Because Escobar Barbecue.
All right, how about this one? These guys, they lived a lifestyle too.
I think about Pablo Escobar is cocaine. It's not going to make me be like,
they put
brisket.
Cocaine in the barbecue.
They want some brisket.
All right, how about this one? And these guys are like the party guys too.
Yeah.
The Swinos.
There's too many with swine.
Too much swine?
You already given me 2 swines. That means...
there's a lot of pork,
That means it's derivative.
There's a lot of rub my butts.
It's hack.
All right.
I don't want to say.
All right, thanks.
Here's the reason Snoutcast works also. Swine, people are going to use over and over. Pork, snout is a good pull.
Yeah.
That's like a snout. It's still
you don't
barbecue.
see snout all the time, yeah.
Yeah, Snoutcast. It's good.
All right.
Tell them I said, what's up?
All right.
Was their food good, Snoutcast?
I mean, all these teams win awards here and there.
All right. Well, I support Snoutcast. That's who I'm rooting for.
Okay. All right, Forrest, tell everyone where they can find you and where they can maybe buy you a meal when you're on the road.
I'm in Sherman Oaks. Just come over there. I'll be walking around Ventura.
No, not like your house now. Like where can they find you online?
ForrestShaw.net. Forrest with 2 R's. SHAW on any social media. And come out. I got all my shows on there, including the ones I'm doing with Dave that he hasn't put up yet because he's not responsible. So check that out. And whatever charity gig that I'm not doing, you can do it. Louise and I are going to be eating somewhere.
My mom will cook a really good meal for us.
I love your mom. I just, look, I've already in my head was like, oh, we'll have a couple days off and bookended. We want a day off here or so, a day off there, so we can kind of like, do our thing.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for being on the podcast. Wars. Listen to the Mermen Podcast if you don't already. Subscribe to
That's where
that.
you can find me.
That's it. Make sure you leave comments, rate everything, all that stuff on here.
Not about me.
Just another reminder, I'm going to be in Chicago at the end of this month, end of June in Chicago, Schaumburg Improv. And see me in Bakersfield coming up pretty quickly here too. Bakersfield, I'm going to be out there. Probably will do a collaboration with Salty's Barbecue for that show. So come out, get some barbecue, see some comedy.
Snoutcast.
See ya.